There are many reasons why people might give this to someone as a gift. I'll discuss who you might give this to and the reasons why. I'll cover friends, family, teens and young adults, siblings, and your ex-partner. Let's talk about friends. There are a lot of people who have no understanding how men can be boxed in by women in relationships. They see men as tough, harsh, and should be able to deal with any abuse a woman could inflict on them. They cannot imagine how a beautiful, sweet woman could ever be manipulative and controlling. They may even be looking at you with amazement on their face as you see them thinking that you're making it all up because they only see her sweet, friendly, happy, agreeable public persona. It is usually only wise old women and men who have experienced it who see right through the act. Many men cannot understand how a good man could be driven to frustration, anger, and depression by mental and often physical abuse. You can provide this to your friends so they can see a different perspective, allowing them to better communicate and support you with a newfound understanding of what men can be subject to. Family are quite often judging you and your breakup issues. It can be from both sides of the family. Quite often, the mother-in-law and her daughter become united in inflicting a barrage of psychological manipulation on the children, all aimed at dividing the children from their father, who they now both despise. You can give this to them and explain how you're providing it as helpful information for the children's protection from alienation tactics. From that point on, you should be able to identify destructive behaviours and communicate your concerns to those performing them. I recommend you do that in writing wherever possible. It could be your children who are the teens and young adults who have been subject to alienation and have become isolated and believe you're a bad person. You can give it to them so they can view it independent of you. You can open the door to communication by offering to provide your explanation of how you became estranged from them and it wasn't your choice. For teens, this may be very educational for both sexes. For girls, it can get them thinking how their actions can affect others. And for boys, they can see it is not all men who disrespect women. Both boys and girls should find this useful in identifying good qualities in selecting their friends and partner. Giving this to your ex-partner offers great potential if you are trying to navigate the separation process. I recommend you document your giving this to them by email, text message, or similar. The fact is, you are trying to separate with your children's best interests at heart. You are also trying to do your best by your ex, because this information is targeted at achieving the best outcome for all involved. I recommend you both move to communicating in writing wherever possible. This helps to avoid using emotions as facts in discussions, which are deliberately drawn off topic to feelings, turning them into pointless, destructive arguments which will be used as fuel for their case of you being abusive. Even if they refuse to view the material, saying it is another form of control, don't let that worry you. If it goes all the way to legal action, you now have a case that you offered information and have wanted to work constructively together. Many psychologists and counsellors advise the man to avoid conflict at all costs. This allows the woman to alienate you from your children. They say you need to be the better person to protect your children from conflict, telling you that courts will see how you've been the better parent. Unfortunately, this has not usually been the case up until now. The mother usually wants the conflict to be in front of the children, so it may be used to divide you from your children. This becomes a stupid proposal because the family courts will assess your relationship with the children and often rule that the children have a strong bond with their mother and little attachment to the father. This has played into the mother's hands for decades. Fortunately, this information blows these shallow theories apart. It is now clear that the father who is avoiding conflict and protecting the children by acting in their best interests is actually the better parent. The one who is not using alienating tactics, not making false allegations, not exploiting the family law system bias, is not the one against equal shared care. And most importantly, does not plan on secretly taking the children. Rather, they plan on sharing the children. It has now been proven how the father can suffer, and if they are experiencing alienation, there should be a strong case the father should have majority care of the children, because the mother has already proven that even if they were in equal shared care, they have a history of alienation. And if that continues in equal shared care, they would continue to use the children as pawns, and that is not in the children's best interests. So if you're a good father and you are sacrificing your relationship with the children short term to protect them from conflict, you should be able to document your efforts and present this as a solid case. Now this information is available. It no longer has to be hopeless, where you get boxed in, where men are driven to do terrible things. You now have hope. So never give up. Your children need you. There are so many reasons for giving this to someone. Whatever the reason, I hope it helps everyone achieve better outcomes and children benefit by becoming better adults by having both parents' support.